Morning, children of class 6. Today we shall discuss your third chapter on grammar, that is pronouns. Right, we've already completed with nouns and adjectives. We are moving on to the third chapter. Now, children, what is pronoun? Pronoun, generally we say, those are words which are used instead or in place of nouns. Right, so the different kind of examples which we can use is I, you, he, she, we, they. These are all the examples of pronouns. Right. Now, children, you must note that I have marked certain parts and I have ticked certain charts which you must follow in order to learn and know the definitions of the pronouns which are provided in the text very clearly. Right. So, the different examples of pronouns we can get, there are 9 kinds: personal, possessive, reflexive, emphatic, interrogative, relative, demonstrative, distributive, and indefinite pronouns. Right. The first category is personal pronoun. Now, personal is always used in the names of peoples and things. Okay, or it can be used in place of the names of people and things. Now, you have to understand that if the personal pronoun is the doer of the action, then that is called a subject pronoun. That means somebody is doing, isn't it? And whoever receives the action, that would be called an object pronoun. The category is clearly given in the chart. You must follow that carefully. Now we move on to the second part, that is possessive pronoun. Now, what is the meaning of possession, children? It refers that if I possess something which belongs to someone, isn't it? So that is called possession. So therefore it is called possessive pronoun. Now you can see in the chart the examples and the differences when it becomes singular to plural. Suppose mine becomes ours, isn't it? Then his becomes theirs, or hers becomes theirs. Next example is reflexive pronoun. Now, what is reflexive? Reflection is always something which is coming back to you, isn't it? The reference of the subject is coming back to me. So, therefore, it is called reflexive, reflection of the same subject. For example, if I say, I looked at myself in the mirror. So, who am I? I am the subject, I, isn't it? And I'm looking at myself. So, this is coming back to me only. So, therefore, we can see the examples: myself, yourself, himself. Normally, it is related to self or selves when it is plural. Now, children, you must understand the difference between emphatic pronoun and reflexive pronoun, although it seems that they are same. You will see that the position of the reflexive pronoun is a little ahead of the subject, whereas in emphatic pronoun it is very near to the subject. For example, I looked at myself in the mirror is an example of reflexive because we are using the verb here, isn't it? Verb in the middle, looked. And then we are using this reflexive myself. But in case of emphatic, see, just after the subject we are using the word myself. I is the subject here in the first example. I myself agreed to organize the picnic. So after I, that is a subject, I'm immediately placing the emphatic pronoun myself, isn't it? So this is the immediate placing of the words that will be referred to the emphatic pronouns. And in case of reflexive, it can be after the verb or any part of speech which is given. Please follow the examples, you will be able to understand. Okay. Next is interrogative. Now, what is interrogative, children? Interrogation always means you are asking a question. Therefore, if I ask who, what, which, whom, and whose, these examples become those examples of interrogative pronouns. Right? Next is relative. What do we understand by relation? Relation means whenever I'm relating a part of the sentence and joining it with the subject and the object. So the joining words which will be there to build up the relation in a sentence, that would be referred as relative pronouns, right? See the chart and the examples which follow. But we can just give the examples that who, whom, that, which, whose are example of relative pronouns. Children, I want you all to follow something carefully, that we have a little chart. See, we can see here watch out or grammar bites in the other pages also. You just follow those to see that there are little differences. When we have exceptions in the rules of grammar, those are only pointed out. Okay. Next, we have the omission of relative pronoun. That means when we do not require the relative pronoun to be placed. For example, if I say that who, whom, who's, that, exactly what happens is that here the position of the preposition changes, and that is why it is referred to as the omission, right? So, for example, the boy to whom I have gifted the book did very well in the exam. Right. So the boy you gifted the books to. See, there is a change of preposition. The word to has been placed after the common noun, that is the subject, books. Right. So in this case, there is a shift in the change or shift in the position of the preposition. Next, we come across demonstrative. Now, what is demonstrative, children? Demonstration means to show something. Suppose if I show a book and say, this is my book. So this, the word this I'm using shows the book is mine, isn't it? That means I'm showing the book and saying that. Well, if it is this and that, in case it becomes these and those in the plural forms, right? Now, next we come across is distributive. What do we understand by distributive? Distributive means when we talk about people, things as an individual member of a pair or even of a group, that we call it as a distributive pronoun. Now, you must understand that it is always followed by a singular verb. Distributive